It's This Week in Bourbon. Remember to teach your kids to share their cookies. Here's your headlines from March 28th, 2025. There's a brand new record that's been set at auction with a Van Winkle Private selection. Heaven Hill silently launches their Connoisseur Club, and Booker's is releasing their first batch of 2025. And before we get started, here's a quick word from our partners. Hey everybody, welcome back to This Week in Bourbon. Post 10 years, now we're just old guys just talking about bourbon.
My back hurts.
Knees hurt, legs hurt.
Yeah. So can you elaborate on the opening?
Yeah, I don't have a good video to show you, but there is a trend going around on TikTok that let's say I'm the mom, you're the dad, and we have our child right in front of us, and there'll be a plate, and it'll be covered either with a plate or another, like a paper towel, and I'll lift off mine and I'll have one cookie, and then the child will lift off their plate and has two cookies. You lift off yours and has one cookie, and then you go, and you would be going, oh, I really wish I had a cookie. But the kids don't give up their cookies. So you try to guilt trip your kids into being good people and sharing their stuff. But this is, mind you, toddlers, 2-3-year-olds, and they nothing phases them. They're just like, well, these are my cookies.
Yeah.
I don't have to share that. These are my cookies.
That's like that study that they did. Like, if we'll give you one cookie now, and then if you wait like 20 minutes, we'll give you 5 cookies. Yeah, but we can give you one more in like a minute. And then they're like, give me the one in a minute.
They don't want to wait.
Humans,
that's exactly what happens.
Humans don't understand the point of sacrifice sometimes.
It is. But it's just funny because you see kids' reactions. I would say it's about 75% of kids, maybe even more than that, probably 90, 95, do not share their cookies. But then the other 5% are like, oh, here you go, Daddy. And it's like, okay, cool. We did a good job raising
There
our
is
kids.
Hope for humanity.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a fun
kids
game.
would not be the sharing ones.
Yeah, mine need one either. But if you're listening and you have a young child at home and you're looking for a fun game to play with them, do that. Hide something right in front of them, open it up, and see if you can. See if they're good enough people. If you've taught them well, that they will share a cookie with you. Even if you go like, even if I had just like one bite, one little morsel, that would be perfect. And no, they don't give it up.
And if they don't, you're a failure of a parent.
No, don't worry, don't feel bad, because a lot of people feel like they're failures after doing this test with their kids too.
Yeah, totally.
Well, there's not a whole lot of things. I'll give another plug for the Bonsai Weekend happening Friday, May 30th through June 1st. We're going to be a sponsor there, but there's going to be dozens of bonsai trees on display. There's workshops, demos, and this is going to be happening at the Waterfront Botanical Gardens. And this is, again, the 3rd annual Bonsai Weekend. That'll be happening, again, May 30th through June 1st. You can get your tickets and more details at bonsaiweekend.com.
Sounds like a great time.
Yeah. I was admiring a picture that Tim took of you a little bit earlier today and shared it on our group chat. I think we need to take some more candid photos like that and share them inside a parlor as well.
Captain Morgan.
Oh,
pose.
Yeah. Ryan's sitting there on the phone. He's doing business, but he's got his leg perched up on a barrel. And man alive, you look good doing that. So I think we need to get some more candid pictures and start sharing them inside a parlor.
I'm sure it's exactly what people want to see. It's me mounting up on a barrel.
Oh, I know.
Or they want to see you just, riding a barrel.
We did have that one this week, too.
That was hilarious.
Not my greatest moment. You disagree?
No, I think it's your most shining moment. It's freaking hilarious.
Until my wife comments on it, then it doesn't count, because she's
going to be like, oh my God,
this is embarrassing. Ridiculous. Absolutely. I can't believe this is what you want to do with your life. I'm like,
hey, people said we're the best in content right now on bourbon, so
I know
it's working.
Hey, if we got other distilleries talking about us, be like, you guys really know how to connect with fans, and be like, well, you just got to act like a dumbass.
Yeah.
At some point, it's going to all start coming together.
Yep. I keep bringing him up, but just put Conor O'Driscoll on a barrel and let him ride it
let him ride it for a few hours.
Like a mechanical horse.
What's the worst that could happen?
That's right.
People dig it. All right, you ready to just go ahead and dive in with some bourbon news here?
Let's do it.
All right, so the first is Ben Holladay, that distillery was in Missouri, they're actually breaking ground on its newest rickhouse, which is Rickhouse D. This is the fourth in a century of developing the only ironclad rickhouses in the state of Missouri. A giant in Missouri distilling history, Holladay built its first 3 on-site rickhouses in the early 1900s, 1930 and 1950. But now, 75 years later, its last rickhouse will be coming under development, which marks the latest stage of growth in the distilling legacy that dates back to 1856. Holladay's Rickhouse D will be constructed over the course of 8 to 9 months in partnership with St. Joseph-based construction company A.I.J. Mueller. Let's see. Most of these active rickhouses span around 9,000 square feet and offer capacities between 10 and 12,000 barrels. Rickhouse D will have an 11,000 barrel capacity and maintain consistency across all of their bourbon lines as well.
I was having a discussion with someone about rickhouse sizes, and it seems like that 10 to 12,000 is like the magic spot where it has good ventilation. The whiskey ages the best in those. Compared to like the 50,000. I can't remember who I was talking to, but...
Oh, I just hear you're just comparing sizes with other people.
That's right. But no, it's good for them. Their brand's growing. It's got great branding, great packaging. The liquid's good. I was surprised how big they are. But
yeah, but we had them on the podcast.
Yeah,
I don't even remember which episode it was now. I got to look it up. Keep talking.
But it's good to see that somebody in the space is growing. People say it's dead, but they're adding rickhouses.
I venture to say not, but it was episode 482. So if you want to hear with Kyle Merkline of Ben Holladay, go and check that episode out.
People like that soft red wheat.
It's the wheated characteristic that brings out the shining thing in everybody right now.
That's right. It's the new Amberana.
It truly is. But I will say I enjoy at least wheated bourbon. I kind of find myself nowadays. Friday, Saturday nights, I'll go down to the basement, and we've been drinking getting high on our own supply of drinking United all week, and so I always like, what else is good? What should I try? I find myself going back to some of the limited Maker's Marks pretty often now,
like the Private Selects,
like that, the BEP. Chef Lee's initiative. I keep going back to a lot of those. The new one
they just dropped off was pretty good too.
Oh yeah.
Are we allowed to talk about that yet?
I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't until we get it. I have no idea. It's over there, but I can't.
We tried it the other day. It was tasty.
Yeah.
Well, if you see some come from out Maker's Mark, it's good. We'll tell you the details next week.
Yeah, we'll stick around. There'll be more news. All right, so here was our top headline, and that's a one-of-a-kind bottle of Old Rip Van Winkle of a Van Winkle selection that would happen during the Kentucky Bourbon Festival Master Distillers auction in 2007, has now shattered records at Sotheby's, achieving a monumental amount of $125,000, becoming the most valuable single bottle of post-Prohibition American whiskey ever sold at auction. Offered with an estimate of around $30,000 to $50,000, big whoops on that one. This ultra-rare bottle captivated collectors with its unique provenance, likely containing whiskey from the legendary Stitzelweiler Distillery, at its historical significance as one of the highest proof Van Winkles ever to be produced. The bottle, which has not been seen in nearly 20 years, was originally created for the 2007 Kentucky Bourbon Festival and hand-bottled at full strength under the supervision of Julian Van Winkle. It is 125.6 proof, and I pulled this directly from the label because it didn't actually have this in the press release, is that it says it was pulled from barrels that are 15 to 20 years old. That was it. The previous record was $107,715 for a Van Winkle 18-year-old bourbon from Binny's, and that price also included buyer's and premium tax, so this now sets yet another new American whiskey record.
That's impressive. Well, I shouldn't use my line, but anyways.
It's inexpensive. I get it.
But yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool, though, that American whiskeys can now get the prices that Scotch and big winemakers have been getting for years. So I think it's awesome for the category. And I mean, Stitzelweiler whiskey is truly one of a kind. So.
It's crazy. I mean, obviously I'd want to say I want to try this 15 to 20 year barrels, cash strength Stitzelweiler. I mean, it
hits all the check boxes.
It can't suck, but it's really cool that it was done for the Master Distillers auction at the 2007 KBF. And
where's the rest of the barrel?
I don't know. It might have just been one bottle that was done for it because this was an auction. It's not they brought in a full barrel of it. So I don't know the full story.
That's right, because the picture of it looks like a sample bottle. It's not really like a branded bottle, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It was very nondescript. which I couldn't imagine this sold for more than maybe $200 at auction. I guarantee it. There's no way. So
maybe 100.
I only know this is because yesterday's podcast release, which if you're listening to this and you listen to yesterday's podcast, you might be going, I can't believe there is, or actually, no, I'm sorry. It is next week's podcast because we're going to be out next week. But the episode that's dropping next week is from 2018 Kentucky Bourbon Festival, where we interviewed Bill Thomas and Mike Miller. And I forgot
about that.
I know. I thought that episode was just going to be gone. There was no saving it.
I don't even think you were there.
Oh, I was there. I
thought I was there.
I edited. Of course I was there.
Oh, I thought for some reason I was just there.
This was the when it got rebranded from Whiskey Pig to Bourbon Bonanza.
Yeah.
So we were there for that, recorded with those two guys. And I thought the audio was crap. There's no way to save it. Thankfully, you fast forward 7 years, and here we are. We've got great AI technology, cleaned it up right away. So I said, it's time to release it. But part of this goes back is that they talk about the Master Distillers auction just about a year or two prior to that, and you could get pre-prohibition bottles for $400.
Oh, wow.
As a part of that auction.
Glory days.
Glory days. Glory days.
I remember bidding on a cheesy gold foil. I think it was at that one, and it was like $500, and then like got outbidded at the by what's his name? Starts with a Q.
Quentin Tarantino.
Not Quentin Tarantino, but anyways, he like outbid me by like $25 at the last minute, and I was like, damn it!
Oh, got you eBay sniping style.
I know. I love those cheesy gold foils.
Those are great.
Yep.
I don't think they probably do a whole lot of. Do they do a whole lot of Dusties at the Master Distillers auction now? I know we've donated to it, but
yeah,
it doesn't really. Nobody's clamoring for United when you have pre-pro bottles up there.
Our bottle went for like $250 or $300 last year.
Oh, see, never mind.
Yeah.
Everybody, never mind. You should probably put in your bids now.
That's all right.
All right, pour me something else while we talk about this next one here. All right, we're having a good day.
Put me to
here.
work.
Yeah, I was like, we're having a good day. It's a bottling day. We got some new single barrels going down there, new product line that we're getting ready to share with you all here very, very soon too. So stay tuned for that. But the other big headline was that Heaven Hill, they silently launched something very new. And I only know about this because Brian Bikey, who's our resident new bourbon nerd, he takes the crown over us. Somehow he knows absolutely everything that's happening. But Heaven Hill has launched something called the Connoisseur Club. So you might be going, what's the Connoisseur Club? Well, it's exactly what you think it is. It is a whiskey of the quarter club is what it is, but it allows you to purchase 4 rare bottles that'll be guaranteed for purchase throughout the year. There's going to be 4 on-site events. There's going to be some remote experiences. You have members-only happy hours, executive tastings. You get a free ticket to the Heaven Hill Bourbon Experience, early access to purchase tickets for other Heaven Hill Bourbon Experience events, 20% off all merch and food that happens at Five Brothers, and you get some more VIP treatment. Here's the kicker, though. This is going to cost you, and by the way, when I say the 4 rare bottles, they had the 19-year wheated whiskey. There's the Old Fitzgerald fall release. There is William Heaven Hill
to be announced.
TBD, and there's another TBD, so you don't know what it is. However, the price tag is a shockingly $2,000 per year to get access to buy these 4 bottles. And you still have to buy them. You don't get them for free. You still have to buy the bottles.
Yeah, that's a great deal. I don't know.
We've had this conversation because it was like, oh crap, we totally underpriced P Club if we give you it's only $100 and it includes free shipping. You don't even get shipping with this. Right?
Yeah, you got to pick it up.
You still have to come pick it up.
And you got to buy the bottles. That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot of scratch, but
if you got the money and you're like, you know what, I just don't care, I want to get them, then this is your avenue. Exactly.
And I felt like we're serving different audiences as well with the Pursuit thing. You can't get it everywhere. We want to make sure that you can't get access, you can get access, and we want to continually bring out new innovations. And to be fair, we're not Heaven Hill. We don't have a bunch of 19-year-old whiskey that we can go and make a part of this. This is going to be more for those people that want that exclusive access. You're okay to pay it because you don't want to go and chase after it. You're happy to pay for it up front, and Heaven Hill gets to kind of take all those extra pieces that you would be paying as a part of a secondary markup. So it's, like I said, we are more of a volume play. This is more of an exclusivity play, and that's the way that I would probably push it.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to go wait in VIP line. I guess to get access to those bottles, you'd have to go pay VIP at Bourbon Festival, which is like $1,200 a ticket or something, and then wait in line. So this probably helps,
Oh, easily. Put it this way.
It's kind of similar cost.
If you're paying this, you probably don't want to have to wait in line and go be those people that are running to Heaven Hill in the very morning, right? You want to not have to worry about that. And it's like, okay, it's secured. I have nothing to deal with. And believe me, Heaven Hill has a much wider net that they can cast. And I'm sure there's plenty of people with yachts and helicopters that are happy to throw down $2,000 and they're just like, fine, don't even worry about it.
100%.
Yep. Or they're just going to buy it on secondary anyway.
I'm going to give it to you for Christmas.
Are you?
But you got to buy the bottles.
I still got to buy the bottles.
Yeah.
No, like I said, it's cool. I'm glad to see that this club idea is starting to spread.
Just glad we got in ours before.
We got ours first. Yeah, we were here first. But honestly, it's cool to see this. But yeah, the price tag, you're going to find a very slim amount of audience. But for, if they get one person to sign up, it takes us 20 people, right?
Yeah,
whatever. 20. Yeah.
On.
Okay. I was about to say. Cool. Man, that's where my dad goes. Kenny, what's 7 times 8? With that, we'll be back with some bourbon release news. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It is bourbon release news time, and we got a few of them just to kind of touch over. And so this first one is something that's an annual release that if you're best friends with, you make a pact. You make it with blood, and it's sealed forever. And this only comes out of Lux Row and Master Distiller John Rempe. This is Blood Oath Pact 11, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, finished in Añejo tequila barrels. Oh, saw that coming. This year's secret blend features a union of 2 well-bred bourbons, a 14-year rye bourbon and a 10-year wheated bourbon, blended with an impressive 7-year rye bourbon, which was finished in barrels that held Añejo tequila. All of which Rempe's packs. Blood Oath is offered at 98.6 proof, and this will include a total allocation of 51,000 bottles with a suggested retail price of $130 per bottle.
The Booker's release is doing a tequila as well. So see this trend. I actually kind of like...
Wait, which Booker's release?
Booker's coming out with their... I don't know, it's one of their special Bookers.
Okay. Not
like their batches, but it's like a
you
special.
Scared me. I was like, we got to get to that here in 3 news stories, and I did not put this down correctly.
Yeah. Well, I saw the label on Coming Whiskey, and everybody was like, "Oh, why would you do Bookers in a tequila?" Blah blah blah. Which I've actually enjoyed some whiskeys finished in tequila. I think it's a hard sell to consumers, but I think the flavors there and the Blood Oaths are really good. So I'm a fan.
By the way, what did I just try?
What's the Cash Strength United?
Both of them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Bourbon and then rye?
No, but both bourbon.
Both bourbon? I just don't know which one was which. Okay.
Yeah. Which one do you like?
I think I like the right one.
Okay, cool. That's the one we're going with. So
that's perfect.
Even better.
All right. Makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Because that packed a good proof punch right there.
Yeah, it's got a lot of nice oak tannins, and it's nutty and sweet and fruity. I mean, I'm pretty happy with it.
That sounds like Holladays wrapped up in a tasting nut right there.
Not
right?
been Holladay.
Yeah, not been
Pursuit Holladay.
Pursuit Holladays.
Yep.
Fig date nutty nutcracker. All right, let's keep going. The next one, it's always short and sweet that Michter's, their master distiller Dan McKee and master of maturation Andrea Wilson have approved the release of Michter's 10-year bourbon. This is going to be bottled at 94.4 proof and has an SRP of $195.
This United Cash Strength tastes just like Michter's 10.
If not better.
If not better. But as we all know, Michter's 10 is like always so damn good. That's one of my favorite bottles every year, besides ours.
You know what I love about Michter's is they don't try to make it sound more glorious than it needs to be.
Yeah, they haven't learned ChatGPT yet.
They haven't said,
they're just...
make me a shocking headline, and they don't do that. It's like, we are now announcing the 10-year release. But
Goodbye.
It's not like, oh, well, these barrels sat outside for a couple weeks and got the Kentucky dew kisses.
And this and that.
But we know everybody loves Michter's, and it never fails. And if we are so lucky to get our hands on another bottle of this, I'm sure we're going to review it, and we're going to be like, damn it.
3 thumbs up.
3 thumbs up once again. Doesn't fail, but they do an amazing job. So this next one is Buzzard's Roost. They are adding an exciting new bourbon to its lineup that fully expresses their proprietary double oak style, for which the brand is actually known and priced to appeal to a bunch of whiskey lovers. So Buzzard's Root's Signature Double Oak Bourbon is finished in proprietary casks that were lightly charred, precision toasted for optimal flavor extraction. This is a pretty funny quote because it's very true. It said, "Since the beginning, all of our whiskeys have been double oaked," says Buzzard's Root's co-founder and CEO Judy Hollis. "Our new Signature Double Oak Bourbon was finished in our own bourbon casks, and this mash bill is of 75-21-4. It's 100 proof and has a price point of $45.
Oh, wow. It's a great price.
Yeah. It is kind of funny because that's been Buzzard's Roost MO since the beginning, is that it goes into, it's not just MGP, it's great MGP. And they have their own custom barrels that they always rebarrel things into. But they've now realized you got to hop on the double oak train. If it doesn't say it on the label, people don't know about it.
Yep. What our buddy Kevin C had a good post on, bourbon terms. He was talking about double oak and like how it can mean anything. A million different things. And so, but it seems to be the one term that consumers can like grasp and understand and they gravitate towards, instead of like toasted or double barreled or twice oaked or, double oaked is double kind of the thing they knew what they were doing.
Yep. Good for them. We are nothing more than riding coattails and as they say, we stand on the shoulders of giants.
That's right.
Yep. So this other one is that it's big news. The first Booker's batch of 2025 has been released, and it's called Barry's Batch. This is named in honor of Barry Barish. He's the former Beam chairman and CEO, who was also a dear friend to Fred No. Barry was a legend at Beam and worked at the company for over 40 years. He passed away last year, and thus this batch was named to honor his memory. Barry's Batch is made up of barrels for 4 production dates that were aged in 5 different warehouses. The aged batch is 7 years, 2 months, and 4 days. The proof is 125.7 and has an SRP of $100.
Go Barry.
Yes.
Not familiar with Barry, but I'm sure it's a good release.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. I think I love about Booker's is that it's also a collectible now. And so you want to get the verticals, and it's not crazy because they only come out with 4 a year. If you were trying to chase 100 different things, that'd be different. But 4 a year, that's pretty attainable.
That is attainable. And what are they, about $120 now?
It's at 100, but you had tax.
Oh, sorry, I blanked out.
You had tax, and you get your Zins at the counter. Yeah, you're at 120 on the way out.
That's right. Log of Zins, you're at 140.
Yeah. Get that, maybe a bottle or a can of Hector's while you're at it.
So that's a hell of a night.
Well, so I, as a part of Pursuit, we just joined the Louisville Business Alliance, and I got to go to the first meeting last night, and Hector's was a part of it. Anybody that doesn't know,
is his name Hector?
No. There was a lady that was representing Hector's.
Got it.
Hector's is a THC carbonated beverage that's around here now, and they're also the official THC beverage of the Kentucky Bourbon. Or sorry, of the Kentucky Derby. And I was like, I didn't think the Kentucky Derby would be like, yeah, let's get on this THC action, but I guess so.
Yeah, they'll sell anything.
Yes, they will. The official podcast of the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, there's interesting times in the THC. Now, I think Hector's will be fine here in Kentucky because they're 5 milligrams and under. But in a lot of states, they pulled all THC drinks completely. So, that's they're trying to work out the regulations and whatnot, but I know a lot of brands here in Kentucky are getting discontinued because they're over the 5 milligrams. Yep.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how you can drink more than 5 milligrams of one can.
I don't either. They should honestly regulate that. Maybe at 2.5. I had a good conversation with a buddy of ours. I won't name names, but he said there's a problem in this industry. He's in it, and he goes, if I was to start all over again, I wouldn't do this because I've got 18 different labels for the same exact product because of where it has to go in different states and different regulations. He goes, it's an absolute nightmare. But the other problem that he said is, as a producer, you want people to drink more, not less. So when you go to, he said an example is that he went to Nashville and there was a 16-ounce can that had 100 milligrams in it.
Oh my God.
So 16 servings in one can. He's like, what in the world could you possibly do with this? And if you ever sell to bars, bartenders hate it because you want people to buy more. You don't want people to just buy one can and then that's it. They're done. Then they're drinking water for the rest of the night.
They're in panic mode in the corner.
Yeah, just
praying to God.
Yeah, plucking their eyelashes out because they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, even with the Hectors, like, you know, I'll buy a 4-pack at Party Mart, Liquor Barn, wherever Evergreen. You can get them all over here in town. But it's like, one's good for the night. Like, I can't imagine drinking 2 of those things.
I haven't done one yet.
They're great.
I guess I got to get on. Look at you. They're great. They're fantastic, Kenny. You should really expand your mind here.
That's right.
All right. Well, maybe on the way home. All right. Our last one here is that New Riff is bringing their 2025 edition of their Silver Grove Bourbon and Rye releases. And this is the first ever New Riff release to bear the signature with master distiller Brian Sprance on it. So the Silver Grove Straight Bourbon Whiskey is a 65% corn, 30% rye, 5% malted barley, 110.3 proof. Both of these are going to be aged 4 years and has an SRP of $56. And the other is a 95.5 at 110.2 proof. Proceeds from the Silver Grove release have now totaled around $62,000 to date and continue to support the Silver Grove Community Foundation, which funds community-led projects to enhance the city's quality of life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah. New Riff's always solid. So
yeah, and I'm pretty sure Silver Grove is a vintage label throwback that was somewhere around that area, if I'm not mistaken. But
gotcha.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yep, a lot of cool vintage stuff coming at you soon. Read between the lines, folks.
Read between the squares that we're in.
whatever we're in.
Yep.
But that's it. That's This Week in Bourbon. Nice, short, sweet.
That was quick.
Yeah, I know. And then we'll hit you with an episode of Behind the Pursuit next week.
We got spring break next week.
Spring break, baby. We got to go. Daytona Beach. Let's go.
I'll be at Panama.
Oh, you actually are going to?
I'm not going to Panama. I'm going to Scottsdale. But
okay, gotcha. I was like, oh man, you really are going to Florida to party.
Yeah,
I'm not going there either. But spring break. Oh, cherished times. Good times as growing up with spring break.
Yep. You're like, freedom.
I can't believe we got away with what we got away with back then.
There's no way my kids can do what I did.
No, it wouldn't happen.
Nope.
All right, but that's it. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Toodles.